Hi, you're listening to What's New Today. This is a kids podcast. I'm your host. I'm Sangeeta from India. And in this episode, I'm joined by a young guest. His name is Satvik, and I will shortly ask him to introduce himself a little bit more. Our episodes are usually about current events that shape our world. So today I've got a news story, and Satvik does not know anything about the news story. So I will read aloud the first sentence of this news story, and after that, he's got to figure out what the rest of the news story is. This is a little bit like the 20 question style game where he gets to ask me questions and I'll give him answers as yes, no, maybe. And then with all of that, he can finally infer what the rest of the news story is. Hi, Satvik. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Satvik. I live in Calcutta. I'm 13 years old. I go to the Heritage School. I enjoy playing video games, reading books, and talking with my friends in my free time.
You do have free time. That's good to know. So, Satvik, I also know that you've been a regular listener of What's New Today, this podcast. Any episode that you heard recently that you want to share your thoughts on?
No, I can't pick one. They're all too interesting. Oh yeah, there are a lot of dogs. So more people are getting dogs as pets in Seoul, and they're taking them around in baby strollers, and this is worrying the government.
Okay, so just to give our listeners a little bit of background into the news story that Satvik is referring to, in South Korea, it is more common for you to find strollers on the roads with dogs than to find strollers on the roads with babies in it. So, this is a reflection of a growing trend in countries like China, South Korea, and many other parts of Southeast Asia where people are having fewer kids and more people are adopting dogs. So, how did you feel when you heard about this news story?
I was extremely surprised. Huh? People are doing this? And then as I went further into the podcast, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is actually logical. Because it's more costly to have babies because you have to pay school fees, college fees, etc. for babies, but you don't have to for dogs.
For this generation, it has become a little bit more financially burdensome to have kids. So, when we all went to school, fees were much lower as a percentage of our parents' income. They didn't have to shell out so much money for school or for college. So, I'm glad you heard that story and it gave you some food for thought. Are you ready for today's 20 question style episode?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so here's the first line of the news story. There is a zoo in Darjeeling. It's called the Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park. Now, this
That's a long
zoo,
name.
sorry?
That's a long name, I was just saying.
Oh, yeah, it is. So, this zoo will serve two purposes, which are number one, it will house live animals. And the second will be da 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 da. That's what you've got to find out.
Is the zoo located in a very nature rich area, or is it like a very commercial part of Darjeeling?
I can give you yes, no, maybe answers. So ask.
Oh. Is the zoo located in a nature rich area?
Yes,
Are the amount of species they host there over 20?
maybe.
Okay, so high number. Did what was his name? Padmajan
Naidu.
Naidu. Yeah. Did he have any more zoos? Was he very high in the nature reservation? Was he very respected in that community?
So I'll first clarify it's a she.
Was she very respected in the community?
In the community of wildlife activists. Is that your question?
Yes.
No. So I'll just add a little bit of flavor to the answer. She was the daughter of Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu was one of India's freedom fighters. Padmaja Naidu was also, I think, a governor of West Bengal at some point in time. That may be the reason why zoo in Darjeeling, which is in West Bengal, has been named after her. In other words, the name of the zoological park does not contain any hint to what the second purpose this zoo will serve.
Did Padmaja Naidu ask for endangered animals in that area to be housed in zoos, or the specific zoo actually?
Since you are totally obsessed with Padmaja Naidu, I'll have to say she did not ask for it. But there is something about endangered species that this zoo will contain. To that extent, you're right.
So I have figured out one of the key things, that it is related to endangered species.
Bingo.
And Padma Naidu did not do anything.
No,
So
she was dead long time ago.
Are there endangered species in the Padmaja Naidu Zoo?
Live animals, is that your question?
Yeah. Live.
No. It won't be the live animal itself which will be kept, but something related to the animal will be.
I think maybe it could be like a biological aspect. So maybe like, say maybe the tuft of fur from the animal, or say maybe a feather if it's a bird, or there could be observations from different forest rangers, say, who witnessed or saw the animals while they were on duty. So I'm also looking at it from that aspect.
I can see that you voiced your thoughts aloud. So what's your question?
Was there a primary source of information about the animals kept in the zoo?
Yes, but by primary source, I'm assuming you're referring to the tuft or a feather, or various parts of the tissues of these endangered species.
Yeah.
Yes,
like
the answer to that is yes.
Was there like say vials, or was DNA kept in the zoo itself to clone other animals so we can populate them again?
Absolutely correct. Yes, that is the last part of this new story. Yes, perfect. They are preserving DNA, they are preserving tissues of various species that live in that part of the world, which is largely the Himalayan region. So, in this zoo, on one side, you can see animals wandering around, so just like any other zoo in the world. And there's also this place where if you enter, you can see eggs, you can see tissues, you can see DNA extracts, all of these being preserved there, so that in future, if any of these creatures were to go extinct, we can clone and bring them back to life. That is the purpose that this zoo will serve.
So I think they will have to be preserved in like a very cold area to like kill all the germs, and like people will have to wear like gloves and like suits and stuff to go in there, because germs could potentially kill some of the tissues and the living organisms. I think they would have to be kept in like a freezer-like environment.
Beautiful, Sadhvik. You've recreated the image of a science fiction movie where people are wearing these white lab coats and gloves, and they've cleaned themselves up, and then they walk into this place which is kept under very cold conditions. So here's a fun fact. All of these genetic material will be stored in steel tanks, and they'll be filled with liquid nitrogen and kept at minus 196 degrees Celsius. That's really, really, really cold. So this frozen zoo is the first of its kind in India. So if you're planning to visit Darjeeling anytime soon, do include this in your itinerary. Thank you so much, Satvik. I had a lot of fun chatting with you. And if any young listener out there would like to join me on an episode just like Satvik did, go down to the show notes and you will find a link that reads as register to join as a young co-host. If you like listening to this episode, please do share it with your friends and family. Also, do subscribe and like this podcast wherever you're listening to it. Also, if you'd like to listen to that episode on why South Koreans happen to be spending more time with dogs than with babies, you can find a link to that episode also in the show notes below. That's it from me today. I'll be back next week with yet another new story. Till then, bye-bye.